Hello and welcome to episode 1 of Life with Tarisai, a short podcast series focusing on healing, exploring, and being openly vulnerable. We have lemon and ginger tea, which is always an essential before we start talking about our feelings and the things that make us shy. No sugar in it. And we've got some lemongrass incense, which is also another essential to ensure the ambiance is calming. This episode is titled Episode 1, New Beginnings Force Old Habits to Die Hard. In this personal introduction, I want to share some life transitions and what I want and what I hope to get out of this mini series that I'm sharing with you guys. I want to focus on healing and vulnerability as sort of a video and audible diary, something I've never really done before. I've never been big on sharing insecurities, dreams, hopes, vulnerabilities on the internet. But I found myself recently trapped in an endless spiral of perfectionism, one that has held me back from being myself, one that has held me back from doing things that I find joy, and one that has held me back from cultivating skills and talents. I've recently moved to a new city, the city that I first moved to in Australia when I was 2 years old, Sydney, and I'm officially living here as an adult under very different circumstances. I am a Capricorn, which means opening up and being vulnerable isn't always the easiest thing for me to do. But I've found over the last couple of years, when I've made the conscious effort to open up and share parts of myself that I've often held close to my heart, dear and sacred, things have usually opened up for me. So I thought, what could make this any different? And how many other people feel similarly? When I talk about these things, about wanting to share parts of ourselves online, explore our creative insights, and go on healing journeys, people often remain reserved and they don't share. But it's through hearing other people's stories, other people's journeys and experiences that we're often a little bit more encouraged to share parts of ourselves. So I hope that's what can be gained from this. I've learned I'm no longer afraid to feel silly, to look stupid, to be cringe. As they say, to be cringe is to be free. And part of these reflections, some of the things that I want to talk about, hopefully in more detail, is people pleasing. Something that I've always been for a very long time, and I think a lot of people can relate to for different reasons. I've forced myself to fit into boxes, to wear certain hats, because I wanted to ensure that I was useful, that I was helpful, and that I'd earned myself a space in any room or in any place that I was. Simply existing was never enough. I always had to ensure that I was going above and beyond. And this has often left me exhausted. It's left me tired and overworked. And as I was recently told, I'm way too young to be burnt out. I'm way too young to be so worried about what other people think of me before I've even developed a fully self-actualized sense of self. And I want this podcast series, Life with Tarisai, to focus on, and Tarisai is my middle name for those that know me as Michelle. but it is the name I want to use in this journey because it brings me a little bit closer to where I'm from, which is something I'm also exploring and I'm going to be exploring more openly as well. But I want to focus on healing these belief systems and these fixed ideas we have about ourselves, that we're not perfect enough, that we're not strong enough, that we're not creative enough, and that we're not patient enough. I want this journey to be about healing publicly and loudly and making mistakes and having conversations. I know a lot of people are doing that right now. There's a lot of content, there's a lot of discourse on the internet about these kinds of things, but I think it's really important to personalize these journeys for yourself and to not worry about what other people are doing, which is something I have done to myself for a really long time, which is measure my own success based on what other people are doing. Now, these reflections will be very casual, mostly unscripted, lots of dot points, and almost a little bit of a rambling, but it is a space for those who just need a little bit of chaos in our incredibly structured lives, which is something I've had for a really long time. Structure, deadlines, calendars. But this is a space to be free and to be open, which is something I want to do. So in future, I hope to talk about the things I'm reading, talk about the things I'm writing, um, and to not shy away from being wrong, being true, or being honest and looking silly. Because nothing has ever gotten done when people have attempted to be perfect, when people have attempted to fit themselves in the mold of what is expected of them, especially in times when things are already so uncertain. As I said, I'll keep this first one short and sweet. And I look forward to old habits dying hard and new ones forming with a community of people who are excited to explore different parts of themselves and to not be afraid of looking silly while doing it, but to also be kind to themselves in this process. Healing is not linear, and joy is essential, which is what I hope to look for and find, and which is what I believe I'm already cultivating through this process, which is excitement and joy and creating something beautiful. So if you've made it this far to the end of the first episode, congratulations. You deserve a warm bath and a walk in the sun. But for now, thank you for listening with Life with Tarisai.